Okay folks, I am on my roof to service my evaporative cooler, also known as a swamp cooler. I've got one here that's been in service for a few months now. And a swamp cooler is something to be used in place of air conditioning in the high desert. It uses or in any dry climate. It uses I think 20% of the power of an air condition, so really low, really economical, and really appropriate for June, going into June. This June being our new frugal living month, and that's it. Okay, so I'm going to start right here, and yeah, let's get going. One thing I'm going to start with, a few tools here, but don't know where I got this. So I can use a T, and I might, but I also got this somewhere. Don't know where. I've got a regular copper T as well. I want to try this. I've never tried it. I want to see how it works. So the way to start is just to take the covers off, because the other swamp coolers, now be careful because this grate will fall out by design. Now it is, so let me get all the dust out of this. So there's another type of swamp cooler. The pads are about 1 inch thick. Again. Actually, this needs to go in there and then on, because combined that won't slide, the nut won't slide up and over. Okay, that's how you want it to sit, and that is tight enough that it will handle the pressure. Now on all of these, I don't know of one that isn't this way. You need to hold on the inside to keep it from spinning, because this nut just holds it in place. It doesn't keep it from backing out. Another thing is pull out on the line as you tighten it. And that'll get this to seat in place properly. So what I want to do is I want to get the water flowing. I want to get this, because it'll fill very slow. So I want to get this, I didn't hold the inside. I want to get this to start filling. Okay, as I was tightening that, I was holding this on the inside to keep that from turning. Now here is where the fan plugs into, as well as the water pump. Okay, I didn't bring the tripod over here. This is just a push connection. All you do is push this in, pull it out a little bit so you have a little gap there. That's what locks it in. And then that is, I guess you call it the key. I don't know, but that locks it in place. See if this works. Push it in, pull it out, you have a little gap back here. Now to take this out, you push that back in, hold it back, push that back in, hold the collar with your thumbnail, and it pulls right out. But it's really easy, locks it in place. And then you put this right in, right in that gap. Holds that gap open, which locks this in place. So now I just need to turn it on. Like I said, I have valves upon valves. I like to keep it easy. Here's the water flowing. Okay, so starting at that valve, we're heading over. No leaks. There's a possibility, but no leak at that way. That leaked at some point, which tells me it's leaking while it's running, and that's a problem. I thought we were going through quite a bit of water, so I'll take care of that. Okay, I had some technical issues with my sound, but don't fill the water all the way up, just below that overflow in that tube. Now you can see the water coming in from the left. That is a float switch, so as it fills, that bulb will of course float and shut it off. Now there is an adjustment on it. It's bending the wire, and that's how you adjust the fill level. Okay, where are we? Can you see? I think my mic just timed out, so and I didn't turn it back on. Anyway, that screw on top just holds the panel down because you have to pull it up and pull it out from the bottom. So as long as it's not able to move up, then it will stay in place. Okay, there is the oil for the bearings. There's a little hole on top that's covered. Just it's spring loaded. Open it up and fill it. Fill it until it's all the way to the top. You may have to do it a couple times because it will have to flow in and around the bearings. Now whenever you take it down for the winter, make sure you take the belt off. It'll keep it from stretching, and stretching also will cause it to dry rot. Now put it on the pulley on the motor itself, and then put it on the lower one second. That will make it a lot easier to go on. So you just start it on the top and roll it around to put it in place. Of course, watch your fingers. And it may have some residual oil on it. Try not to get that on the belt. It'll cause it to start slipping and burn up. That may be what is splattered onto the housing of the fan right there. So now would be a good time to check the motor and the water pump. If you have a multimeter, check the current, and it should say right on the motor what the current should be. If it pulls too much current, it will trip the motor and time it out. If your motor just quits during use, then that means the belt is too tight. You'll have to come up and loosen the belt. Now, you also want to check the pump as well to make sure it's working. Be careful, of course, the water will come out, and water and electricity don't really get along well with each other. Sorry about the bad angle, but I was having a few difficulties. Now set the pads back in, and notice that they set on a little ledge, so they don't actually sit in the water. You don't want them sitting in the water because the bottoms, of course, will soften. It's like a cardboard type material. Try to put them back in the same direction and order that they came out. So at this point, the tray is upside down with that PVC standing straight up. It normally locks into the tray during use. And I'm using just a really small Phillips screwdriver to just make sure all of the holes on that perforated PVC are clear. Now, if you break it or something happens, you need to replace it, you can make your own. Just drill holes like at a 45-degree angle of each other every 2 inches, pointing up into the tray. So now just rotate it down back into the tray. There's a tip on that PVC, a rubber tip. Just work it into a hole on the end of the tray, and it will just seat right in place. Now put it back together. As you can see, there's a little bit too much water flowing out. I'll adjust that in a second. But make sure you put that cover back on the same way it came out, as well as the screen on the front. But if you notice, I'll put that screen in, and there's quite a bit of water coming out. So what happened is that water tray just didn't seat in place properly, and so I just took the screen out and just tapped it tapped it down into place. All panels on, screws back in place, on to the next. Water through it, which is not as clean as RO, reverse osmosis. This is the float switch on the float valve. Twist this and it'll go up or down, allowing that to run. I think I moved it up too much. And here's the problem, it's been overflowing. This is the view that I like from my rooftop. There are different herds around and they just roam at will. So now that's it. Until next time, see ya.